Hey, welcome to Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. This is episode 143. What's your priority? Under 5K a month in revenue or over 5K a month in revenue? I want to give you some maybe my tips or advice based on the revenue stage you find yourself at as a small business, especially a new small online business, of what should's the wrong word. I don't like saying should. What I suggest could be your priorities if you are an under 5K a month revenue brand or an over 5K a month revenue brand. And if you are a 10 or 20K a month revenue brand, you should have all these things squarely locked away. I don't think anything I will share in this episode should jump at you as things you should be glaringly obvious to do that you're not already doing. However, if you do hear something that you're not already doing, I want to encourage you that implementing anything that I share this morning that you're not doing should be a super quick win for you revenue wise. If you are already a 20K a month brand and you aren't email marketing, for example, then implementing a simple welcome flow into your business will be a super quick revenue bump for you. Absolutely. Because there will be like a bucket of money that has sat there untouched and unclaimed. If there is a part of what I want to share that you're not doing, then you'll quickly find some wins. Hey, what's the very next step for you in growing online? If you have an e-commerce store or you're looking for clients, you have a service-based business, you can reach out to me for one-on-one support on a project-by-project basis. I'm like an anti-agency, little mini agency on my own. I don't offer long retainer packages for brand new clients. I want you to feel confident. Well, in 2024, my revenue that came directly from email marketing was 36% of my whole revenue across the year. And my revenue for 2024 was increased 30% on 2023 results. So I'm definitely in a good position to support you. I have been told I'm the baby budget Facebook ads specialist because I can work with a very small daily budget or a large daily budget. It's really dependent on what you're looking for as a business and what your immediate goals are, that I can guide you on what is the best path towards success for your business. You can reach out to me at aussieonlinegrowingonshopify.com.au. In fact, you can actually put an appointment straight in my calendar. We can chat about your business for like 25 minutes about what struggles you're having, what your immediate goals are, kind of the stage of business you find yourself at. I'm really excited to have the potential to work with you. I encourage you to head to the website where you can book yourself a free discovery call and we can chat about how I can support your business in getting the results that you need to grow online next. I'm going to be mostly talking to very small online businesses on Shopify who are either doing below 5K a month in revenue or sort of over 5K a month in revenue. But yeah, if you're doing 20K a month, these things you've probably got squared away by now. And this episode has come about not because of any one particular client at all, but I have had 3 discovery calls in a very short period of time lately, which doesn't usually happen. Usually discovery calls with new clients are spread out pretty evenly. Like I just tend to get one a month or something like that, usually come through just organically. They come through from my podcast, from you guys who listen to my podcast. However, recently I have had 3 calls in 1 week. And it occurred to me by talking to these brand new, or not brand new businesses, but business owners who are in businesses that are maybe less than 5 years old and who are learning and growing and implementing basic fundamental things to continue to grow their online business to eventually where it doesn't become a side hustle anymore, but their full-time gig. Some similar questions come up. And I guess it's only because I had a few calls back to back that I realized these similar questions do come up in most of the discovery calls that I have with potential new clients. So I'm going to share them with you today. And one of the questions is, should I be spending money on ads yet? Now, if you are an under 5K a month brand, and if you're an over 5K a month brand, unfortunately, my answer is the same because it's what I do for a living. Yes, of course, you should absolutely be spending money on ads. Getting customers to your website and getting Meta to find those potential customers is a must. If you're not doing Meta, then you need to be doing something. Every legit business you see out there in the world has an advertising budget of some degree. And if we're in e-commerce, even more so. Like if we are in e-commerce, it's not often that we're able to build a business big enough to make a living from on word of mouth. Not off. I'm sure they are out there. I'm not disputing that they are. But for 90% of us, then we have to have an advertising budget to get people to discover who we even are. Putting a website up does not mean traffic will find you. You need an advertising budget. And if you're not doing Google ads, you should be doing meta ads. You could do both. I don't run Google ads, so I don't know much about Google ads, but I know a lot about meta ads. And I can tell you your customers are on meta. The amount you want to spend is purely personal. Like you can get great results on Meta spending $15 a day or $150 a day or $1,500 a day. Like the most I have spent recently for my own e-commerce brand would have been like Black Friday, which was several hundreds of dollars a day. Might have been 300. I can't quite remember. A lot in a day. At the moment, my sort of regular ad spend for my own e-commerce brand hovers between $150 and $200 every day. That's how much I'm spending on average at the moment to grow my business. And for me in July 2025, that meant doubling my revenue and a ROAS of 2.5. Totally worth my time in spending $200 a day when my revenue was double in July and my ROAS was 2.5 across July, which ROAS, if you don't know, is return on ad spend. So if my ROAS was 1, that means I spent $200, got $200 back in revenue. If my ROAS was 2, it means I spent $1 on advertising and got $2 back in revenue. Whatever your budget you determine in advertising, then that will determine your strategy. And I have an episode about if you've got $15 a day to spend or $150 a day to spend, and what I suggest your strategy is for either of those scenarios. So there's an episode it's only a couple of weeks ago, not very long ago, all about those two different ways you could spend that budget. So whether you are an under 5K a month business in revenue on Shopify or over 5K. The amount you're going to spend in ads depends on how much you want to be growing, how quickly, how fast you want to be testing. But you need to be spending something either way. Because if you're under 5K a month in revenue, you probably find days where people aren't at your website or you have 15 people on your website. Your conversion rate may be great. You may have a great conversion rate because a lot of the traffic you're getting is organic traffic, people you know, people you're talking to or DMing, people you're talking to in Facebook groups, people you know when you meet in real life, people you see at a craft market. There's lots of organic ways these people are meeting you and getting to your website, but the volume's not there. Can you live off the sales you're getting under 5K month in revenue? No. So the way to grow is with ads, is with meta ads, by getting out, reaching out to more people and saying, Meta, find me these customers, find me the people that will shop from me. And then if you're over 5K a month in revenue, the same is true. You are still growing and building. So ads is still a key part. If you have got to 5K a month in revenue without ads, that's incredible. That's really great. I've only ever grown with ads. I started with ads in 2020, and that's what I have used for the 90% of my new customer acquisition has been with ads. So if you have grown organically, I'd strongly encourage you to consider an advertising budget and just watch your revenue skyrocket. Your revenue will increase dramatically because there's probably a giant group of people on social media that are classed as warm that you haven't yet reached with ads because you're not running ads. If you've never run ads, there'll kind of be some easy wins for you early on, some revenue to scoop up if you've never run ads, but you're already at over 5K a month in revenue, because there'll be like this warm group of users who have been on your Facebook page, your Instagram profile, they've interacted with a post, they've watched a video or reel, they've commented on it, they've been to your website, they may even be on your email list. But if you haven't reached them yet with any ads on Meta, that will be a quick win for you. So I encourage you to absolutely do ads if you haven't yet and you've got over 5K a month in revenue. The next one is email. How important is email at an early stage? So that's another question that comes up often. How important is email at an early stage? Do I really want to pay for Klaviyo? Good question. And if you're under 5K a month in revenue, maybe you don't. And I think that's totally legitimate. I don't think there's a problem. I do think you're better off setting up the foundation sooner rather than later to get off the ground running with the platform you intend to continue to use that can grow with you, especially when it can obviously collect data about the users that it has. But if you are trying to, obviously you've got a limited resource of time, especially if you're doing this as a side hustle, and financially you've probably got a limited resource as well. You're probably cash flowing this for yourself based off of your regular job. Then you need to make concessions and decisions. And I know Klaviyo has gone up significantly in price. I know a lot of people bailed on Klaviyo through 2024 because of their price increases. So if you started using Shopify Mail, then that's a perfectly legitimate way to start doing email marketing. You need to be doing email marketing. So like if the platform is the thing that's stopping you, then don't just take away that barrier. Don't let it stop you. Forget Klaviyo for the moment. Come back to it when you've got, I don't know, to 5K a month in revenue, or even 1K a month, depending on where you're starting. And then consider it then. But at least start out with something. And I have been looking at Shopify Flow lately because one of my clients is actually moving off Klaviyo back to Shopify Mail. She has a very well established business that she has had for a long time, but she hasn't been in contact with a lot of her Klaviyo users for several years. So when I came on board with her, we found that a massive percentage of her Klaviyo profiles were dormant because they just hadn't been contacted in a long time or nurtured in a long time, which kind of means that is just wasting money for her because she's paying money every month for these users that are actually not doing anything for her business anymore. So she's actually going back to Shopify Mail, which is certainly not my preferred. Hey, like all the episodes I talk about, but I get it. Like it makes sense for her business. So start with Shopify Mail if you are under 5K a month and you're just not sure about the whole Klaviyo pricing. You don't want to commit to that monthly fee. But if you are over 5K a month in revenue, you should absolutely be on Klaviyo. You should absolutely be starting a Klaviyo account and getting it moving, getting the data there, and getting your segments built out and start staying in touch. Because if you are over 5K a month in revenue, segments start to become really important. So the segments that you want to contact with your emails every week, and then more sporadically different segments based on their behaviors, what products they've looked at, or if they've opened an email recently, or maybe they've been to a particular product page and you're now driving an offer because you've got that particular product on special. Then segments start to become really important for you so that you're not reaching out to your whole list too often. That will tank your deliverability score in Klaviyo, which is no good for your business at all. You want to be keeping that at a good, healthy range. That's the metric I like to look at the most in Klaviyo. There are other metrics everywhere. Klaviyo is incredible at giving you all the information you could ever need. Sometimes it's a little bit of too much information. It can be hard to know what's important and what's not. But the sort of the metric you really want to be making sure you look at often is deliverability. If you ghost your list and then you don't contact them for a year, and then you go out and spam them in the lead up to Black Friday, all of those emails are going to go to spam folders. They're not landing in anyone's inbox. It's absolutely the double-edged sword of email marketing in 2024 and 2025 is you need to be reaching out on a consistent basis to keep these users warm and engaged, and that keeps your deliverability strong. I have two more to share with you. The next one is it worth me paying for branding or designing? Do I need a new logo or a new theme for my website before I start driving traffic? Uh, the answer is probably no. If your website works, people can add something to cart, they can put it in the checkout, and they can put their payment details in and purchase it. I'm going to suggest to you that your energy is best served elsewhere. If you are under 5K a month in revenue, then the energy or time in looking at rebranding, redesigning your website, your logo, all that sort of stuff is a quick way to spend a massive amount of money and a really huge amount of time. These things take huge amounts of time with very little return for that investment. Your priority at under 5K a month in revenue is getting traffic to your website. You need more traffic, more sessions, more users. Remember, e-commerce is mathematical. A lot of the data we look at inside Ads Manager, inside Klaviyo, inside Shopify is metrics, mathematical metrics. And if e-commerce is mathematical and your conversion rate is, say, 3% and you're under 5K a month in revenue, I want you to get that conversion rate lower because you've got more traffic coming to your website. That might indicate that you have a lot of warm traffic, returning customers, people who know you coming to shop from you, which is great. This is how your side hustle, how you're starting it out. You've got sales, customers, like proof of concept. People are giving you money for your stuff. That's what you want. But now your priority should be more top of the funnel users, people who've never discovered you for the first time, coming to your website and beginning that whole process of know, like, and trusting you to shop with you, which means more cold traffic, more brand new users, more top of the funnel traffic. And that means your conversion rate will drop. But that's what you need, because you don't want more warm traffic. You need more cold traffic. You need to get out farther and wider, which means getting to people who don't know you yet, rather than circling the people who already know you and who are already familiar with your brand. Those people are important. Like, they're important. Your returning customers are. But if you're under 5K a month in revenue, your priority is more traffic, a larger volume of traffic, more users. That's what your priority is. So no, I don't think it's a priority for you to rebrand, to change your name, to change your logo, to change your colors. Those things can be a bit of a black hole and fun to do, but genuinely suck all that time. Like, if you listen to last week's episode, I talked all about organic social media and reach, and talked about if you have an hour of time or 4 hours of time, these are the things you should do to increase your reach on social media. Go back and listen to that episode 142. If you have 4 hours of spare time, don't rebrand your website. If you are under 5K a month in revenue, don't rebrand your website. That's not a valuable use of your time, like, by any stretch of the imagination, but it is fun to do. It can be fun to do. It can seem like it will be the silver bullet, and it won't. I can promise you it won't be. Those things might help you down the track for sure. But if you're looking at ways to justify rebranding your website to help you down the track, then you need to be email marketing, running Facebook ads, and doing organic social media way before you even think about changing the name, changing your logo, rebranding your website. Think about the businesses you drive by every day. If you go to work, come home from work, you're out doing supermarket shopping, at all the signs you see around you, storefronts, factories, how many of them are ugly, make no sense, you wouldn't know what the business is, or you can't even pronounce them? like we get really caught up with clever names and pretty colors and fancy websites, and they're important because this is our store. It's our storefront. Our website is our storefront. I 100% agree with that. You don't have to convince me of that. That's our storefront. But if you have a functioning storefront and you are under 5K a month in revenue, your priority is getting more people to that storefront before anything else. If you are over 5K a month in revenue, and I guess if you have the budget or you've got the time or you want to, sure. I mean, go ahead and do it. I still don't think it's worthwhile use of your time, though. I would still argue it's probably not a worthwhile use of your time to rebrand, to change your logo. You could totally change your theme. I would encourage you to change your theme, look for a new theme you love and freshen it up. And then obviously once you install a new theme, you have to look for all the implications of what it does to your cart and to your checkout page and your product pages and what it kind of does. Go and look for some new add-ons or some widgets for sure. Totally, absolutely do that. But don't do that sort of work if you're under 5K a month in revenue. That's genuinely my belief, which leads on to my next point, my final one, which is about apps and upsells and extra bits and pieces you can add to your website. If you're under 5K a month in revenue, I don't think an upsell app is worth your time. Expensive, like the in-cart upsell apps. I don't think gamifying your website is worth your time or your money yet. Again, it's my opinion, and you can totally do it, but I think your priority is traffic, and I think you have other priorities. If you're over 5K a month in revenue, I think installing some sort of upsell app or gamified cart, you will find some quick wins really quickly. Quick wins really quickly? Yeah, that sort of makes sense. Quick wins really quickly. So if you are over 5K a month in revenue, I think if you add an upsell app or a direct in-cart gamified sort of way of reaching free shipping and things like that, then you will definitely see the revenue bump, I think, from that within a month. I think you'll decide within a month that was worth you spending time doing. Potentially other apps you may also find worth your time because you'll see your conversion rate increase or maybe your average order value increase. And they're things like bundles or like frequently bought together. even other apps where you can add in more social proof, like close to the add to cart button. So the social proof isn't at the bottom of the product page, you're pulling it up higher. So if you've got a lot of reviews on a particular product, you want to feature that closer to the price and the add the cart button, closer to the fold, so that when someone looks on their phone, it's above the fold. They don't have to scroll to see the social proof. If they're on the desktop, they don't have to scroll to see the social proof. So if you have a lot of social proof, you have a lot of followers, you could drag that Instagram feed to your website. If you have a lot of reviews on a specific product, drag that social proof up closer to your price and your add to cart button. I think if you're over 5K a month in revenue, you will see that worth your time and your money spent on whatever app you use for that, or however you get that coded or changed on your website. I think you'll see, I'm like 99% confident you will see the value of spending money on doing that sort of work, because you have the volume of people coming to your website now already. You're just like sort of trying to extract more value from those people who are already coming. When you're under 5K a month in revenue, your priority is really just to get the volume of people coming, rather than worrying too much about extracting the value. Can you still do that? Yes. This episode is really not a like what to do and not do. This is a timing thing, and like a protecting your energy thing. Like, how much time, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And if you're doing this around your regular day job and family and community commitments, then you've only got so many hours in your week to dedicate to your side hustle. This is just a timing thing. So I just want to encourage you that if you feel stuck at wondering if the upsell app is worth my time, or do I need to go redesign and rebrand my whole website, or do I need to get Klaviyo even though I can't afford it yet and I don't even send emails at the moment as it is, then there are choices you can make that still make sense for your business now, that can make sure you're making the decisions that move your business forward, rather than making decisions to like do something can be busy that may not actually have the payoff for you today. So the things I've talked about today are really based around what's going to get you like a payoff for this time and money now versus what you can do in the future. So it's just a timing question. This, and the answers to these are different for everybody, of course. But I just felt like after the few discovery calls I had back to back, these questions do come up a lot. And it makes sense that they come up a lot, because when you start a small business and a Shopify store as a side hustle, oh my goodness, I never knew the world was so full of possibilities in e-commerce. Like, it's what gets me up in the morning 100%. I love it. And it feeds my entrepreneurial spirit to be building an e-commerce store. Coming on 5 years now. I think I've had my e-commerce store for 5 years now. But at the same time, it is a black hole. There is always going to be something to change on your website. There will always be a new app to try. There will always be a new meta algorithm we need to get the hang of. And there will always be changes with email marketing we need to adopt. It's just a matter of what priority you have for you now. So I felt like basing this episode on revenue breaks might make sense for you. Anyway, thanks for hanging out for me today on this episode. I'll see you next week. As always, keep learning.